Hello Blue Moon fans! In today's video I'm going to talk about my programmable line of LED headdresses and jewelry. So what does the word programmable mean? Well, you can see in the headdress that I'm holding in my hands, you can see that it is running through a sequence of rainbow effects. So the lights are actually changing colors, and that is actually powered by a microcontroller on the back here. This is like the kind of computer brain that is telling the lights what color to be. This is different from the headdress that I'm wearing, which is only purple lights. So the lights only come in purple. They will always be purple till the end of time. What's great about using these color changing LEDs that are powered by a computer brain, a microcontroller computer brain, is that you can actually make it whatever color you want. So if you wanted the lights to be kind of purple and blue, like mermaidy colors, but didn't want the pink and the red and the yellow, you could change the programming. That's one of the reasons why this one is relatively neutral in terms of colors, because you can make it whatever colors you want. Pretty cool, huh? So I mentioned the computer brain. So this is the computer chips that I use, the microcontroller chips that I use, are based on the Arduino platform, which is kind of an open source microcontroller, sort of a programming language. It's sort of an ethos, I don't know. But if you've dipped your toe at all into the maker movement, you may be familiar with the name Arduino. And what I like about it is that it's very beginner friendly. So it's meant to be kind of a hobbyist DIY sort of a thing, and there's a lot of tutorials and information and instructions and resources and videos and all kinds of stuff out there for how to program microcontrollers in the Arduino development environment. So that is one of the things I've taken advantage of, because I'm not really a programmer obviously by profession. I'm a designer, and so I want to learn I want to learn just as much as I need to in order to do the thing. I'm not very comfortable in terms of programming and coding, so it's really nice to have a lot of beginner-friendly resources available. I use two basic microcontrollers, two different shapes. There's a little one and a big one. So the little one that I use for the headdresses, this chip is called the Adafruit Gemma MO. And let me show you what that looks like without the headdress attached. So it's this little disc here, and you can see here these are what the LEDs look like outside of any kind of enclosure. It is attached to the battery. That's this silver square. And so what this, you can see that it is the way that the holes here are configured. This is actually meant really for sewable circuits. So there's people that will use conductive thread and actually sew this into fabric and make super cool stuff out of, that actually, moves with the fabric and all of that. I have found through experience that it's not the most durable and long-term kind of project. And so if I'm making something to sell somebody that they're gonna then take it away, I want it to be something that's gonna last and be durable. So I prefer to do things that are actually soldered with wire, because I know that those technologies are gonna last a good long time. So that's one of the reasons why I don't typically use these as sewable circuits, but that's one of the things they were designed for. That's why you have these really distinctive circular pads with big holes. Typically that's not meant to be soldered on, it's actually meant to be sewn with a needle and thread. But you can do whatever you want with it. That's one of the things that's super cool about this company, Adafruit, is they have this deep resource of tutorials and this whole learning system where you can learn how to do this or that thing, or coding, I want my project to do blah, and there's probably a tutorial where the project does blah. It's pretty amazing. So I use this particular microcontroller for to power the headdresses and also the smaller of my pendants, like the one that I'm wearing around my neck. So this is a slightly smaller form factor, which is, it's nice because it can fit in a tiny package. The other kind of microcontroller that I use is a little bit bigger. So this is also made by the company called Adafruit. It is a Circuit Playground Express. That's the name of the board. And what's amazing about these guys is not only do they have, you can see the LEDs are built into the microcontroller itself, they're housed on that platform, on that surface. It also has sensors. and buttons and all kinds of stuff packed into this little package. So if I wanted to have my pendant, visually like twinkle to the sound of my voice, if I wanted it to pulse to the music and the environment around me, if I wanted to, if I wanted it to react, if I, jumped up and down and did something crazy, I could program it to do that. Right now, both my usual sort of default setting is the twinkling rainbows, which I really like because it's gentle and it's colorful and I like it like that. But there's so much that you can do with the sensors that just come with the chip. So, it can sense what axis it's oriented on. It can, there's an accelerometer that'll sense whether it's shaken or, spun around or all kinds of stuff like that. There's a temperature sensor, there's a light sensor, there's a sound sensor, there's not a moisture sensor. Oh, it has a little speaker on board so I could have it play a little tune. I'm trying to think of what else is on here. There's things I'm forgetting, I know, but I think it's, you can look at their documentation and see what's there. But I like it mostly for the lights and also for the possibility of sensors, which I think is super fun because it gives you a lot more room to play with in terms of programming it yourself. Just like the other items I have, the battery is actually buried kind of behind the board in like a little sandwich with the brass piece, and the batteries are rechargeable. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already. The battery life is good for about 12 to 15 hours with an always on kind of light effect. If it turned on and off, obviously the battery life would extend longer if the lights aren't on all the time, but with the lights on all the time, I've found that the size of battery I use is good for about 12 or 15 hours. You could wear it for a good long day and then you would need to recharge it. But I appreciate, having something that you don't have to constantly replace the batteries, the rechargeable is just such a great new innovation that's available. So a little bit about kind of the care and feeding of these chips. So there's two places that you can plug in. The first plug-in, you can see here, when I unplug the little white plug, this is the power. So I would, if I needed to recharge it, I would actually plug this into the charging board that comes with a Blue Moon pendant. And that's a special, all it does is charge the battery. And then there's a cable, a USB cable. So I would plug this into the charging board, which then gets plugged into the micro USB cable. Now, the USB cable that you get when you purchase one of these is good for data and power. Not all micro USB cables are suitable for data, so it's something you want to make sure of if you're having trouble programming it and you're like, why won't this work? Make sure the cable you're using is a data USB, like micro USB data, not just for charging power. So the USB part, that's this port here, this actually connects to the brain of the microcontroller. So this end is for power, this end is for the brain. If you wanted to reprogram it, you would plug it into this silver guy. So that's a little tour of the board. And like I said before, I'm not really a programmer, and so I lean really heavily on the Adafruit learning tutorials for doing my projects. And so when people come to me with questions about, well, why won't my thing work? Usually I'm like, I will refer you to the tutorials because it's not my strength. I love the visual and the light and the effect. I don't love the programming part of it. I leave that to you to develop your wonderful skills in coding, just like I am trying to. So hopefully that makes sense. I am experimenting also with a third style of light up jewelry component, and that is, this is an example of that over here. And this is actually a technology that was developed by a company called Lumistones. They're based out of, I believe, Oakland, and they only use white LEDs because they're a little more economical in terms of power consumption. And these are programmable within a limited range. So they were super nice. I told them what the kind of thing I was doing, and the guy was like, I'll sell you some of our tech if you want to make it into your own jewelry, which I thought, as a company that also makes jewelry, that was a super nice thing to do to somebody who's technically a competitor. So I thought that was really generous of them. But they sold me some of their microcontroller and battery units. They are rechargeable as well. And they have a button interface, so you just press the button and you go through a series of pre-programmed effects where the lights, they circle around, they throb like a heartbeat, they zip around like randomly, and there's like a library of effects that you can use. So that's also something I've been working with. And yeah, just playing around. It's kind of a new product for me, so there's a lot of experimentation involved, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy being able to sell these, and it's just a fun reason to keep my hand in doing electronics and making things that are stretching my abilities as an artist and as somebody who loves the maker movement, participates in the maker movement. I want to learn how to code. I kind of want to force myself to learn how to code because I don't come to it naturally. It's not a skill set that I was born with or have developed easily. So, but yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things that people are making, and I enjoy making the pretty headdress and the jewelry that I can then sell to you to make it into an amazing programmed Who's What's It's. So you'll see a link to my Etsy shop in a minute where you can shop these beautiful things that I make that you can program and learn to code with. I also would love to hear from you if you have ideas for upcoming videos. I feel like I'm kind of running out of ideas for my FAQ series. So if there's things you wanted to learn about Blue Moon products that you haven't seen me do a video about, please leave a comment and let me know what I should make my next videos about. I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, please subscribe to my channel, and I really appreciate all of the comments and all the feedback that I'm getting from my customers. I miss you guys. I can't wait for in-person shows to start up again. So yeah, so perhaps I will see you in the months to come. Thanks for watching.